We did take a couple of steps at a time when we were taking out the mortgage to ensure that should anything happen in the future, we are not left in a position where we are wondering how are we going to be able to afford this property or to keep paying for it, and also to avoid our home being repossessed because we are not able to keep up with the payment. So we used a mortgage advisor to help us shop around for the best mortgage option. And when he came back and told us how much we were allowed to borrow or how much we could borrow, we made a decision at that point to borrow way less, significantly less than we were actually allowed to borrow. So even though we could have borrowed more money and then bought a much bigger house that we currently live in, we made that decision to borrow less and then buy the property which we currently live in. In terms of the electricity, we have always been very cautious, and we still do that. In fact, we've become even more cautious. I know back in the days when we lived in Nigeria, whenever it was dark, the lights in most rooms, if not all the rooms, including outside, were left on. We don't do any of that here. So any room that there is no one in, the light stays off. And then also there is no leaving on the TV to run forever when there is no one there. We are not tight on, like, say, don't turn on the TV, don't turn on whatever, but it's just if it's not being used, it stays off. And then in terms of heating, we pay monthly. I know some people do the pay as you go, but that is really more expensive in the long run. But also we have a central system where the temperature in the house is controlled from. If there is no one in the house, the temperature stays at a certain degree, which means the house is not unnecessarily kept warm for nobody. And then we set the timer in a way that when we're in the house, the temperature is good enough. But if we're not there, then the temperature automatically goes down to just enough so that the house is not frozen. We also have an app on the phone where you can control this temperature from. Then in terms of petrol, don't do unnecessary driving. Whenever we could, we walk to everywhere where we can. For example, I do enjoy when I can, even my husband, he enjoys walking our daughter to school, and we only drive when it's absolutely necessary. But other than that, we enjoy some walking when we can, and that also saves us money on petrol. I am a very picky eater, so I prefer to make my own foods. And that way, I'm never really too tired to cook because I know it's either I cook or I starve. I tend to make most of our meals. We rarely eat takeout or takeaway except if we are not in the house. And even sometimes, if I know we're spending the whole day outside, sometimes I do actually make us pack lunch to take along with us as opposed to buying some random takeaway food and all of that. The food we take to work and also my daughter takes to school, I don't have any problem making all of that. I do enjoy cooking. So yes, that saves us a lot of money. I have discovered that our African hair can survive fine on its own. You don't need to put it in protective styling and all of that. And I've been doing this for 5 years now. In 5 years, I can count how many times I've braided my hair. And it's fine. It looks healthy. The last time I went to the salon, the lady says that my hair looks healthy. So every weekend, I put the hair, either if I need to wash it, I'll wash it. If I don't need to wash it, I'll oil it, put mayonnaise in it, and I'll make it into a style which I'll carry for the week. And once I've done that and I've packed it in a way I like, all I have to do is to put my silk scarf on it, and it stays exactly that way till the end of the week. And then as far as my daughter's hair goes, I make all her hairstyles for her. So we don't really spend a lot of money on making hair. I'm not really big on shopping. Shopping for women's clothing, sometimes it gives me headache because when you get into the shop, there are so many options. Sometimes the styles are very similar and there's just one tiny difference, and then it takes forever to choose what you want. I'm one of those people that I take pride in. When I buy something, I buy things I really like at a reasonable price and good quality as well, but reasonable price. And once I buy that, I wear it and use it until it dies. And then for my daughter, because she's young and she tends to outgrow things quickly, and that can take a bit of money, but what I have been doing is to shop for the clothes for a coming season at the end of the season where we are in. So for example, if I want to shop for her 2023 summer clothes, I will buy them at the end of 2022 summer. That saves us a lot of money on clothes shopping. And then again, I don't overdo it.